Hey, listen. We start this program with me demanding names. I need names. In this day and age where there's unnamed sources, per source, a whole family of sources. Per source, as you know, is the Scandinavian cousin of unnamed source. And we just need to know names. Put names behind your comments. Put names behind your votes that are sometimes not announced. I need names of the individuals in the association that voted Tyrese Haliburton as the most overrated player in the NBA. I need names on that front. The Athletic held a poll, took names from these unnamed people, and outspat one name for the most overrated player in the National Basketball Association, and his name is Tyrese Haliburton. I need your names on the table.
Let's get them all. Let's hit them all now while we got the
muscle. Frank Pantangeli wants to know.
Let's get them all.
And I gotta tell you, Tyrese probably felt like Frank Pantangeli getting a C note from the Rosado brothers. That was offensive to him.
Oh yeah.
I
did not like that.
Being named overrated is like getting a C note from the Rosado brothers. We're making Godfather Part 2 references nonstop here.
That's what we do.
How the hell does somebody take a look at Tyrese Haliburton and say that guy's overrated? That should be over. End of story. Yeah. Sigh all you want about what the regular season was or whatever it is.
I'm not talking about last night. I'm talking about the previous years. You could see why.
2 postseasons in a row for this guy. And what he has done is he showed up in this series with Jalen Brunson, the Knick who brought me back in.
Yep.
Okay, I don't care how many basketballs James Dolan gives out to Knick fans standing by like it's his bread and circus from the back of his limousine. Won't get out. But here, take 2 basketballs I have in the back here. Please tell everyone about it. Shoot it on social media. I'm a great guy. I love Cat. You know how I feel about Cat. All of the Villanova guys. Mm-hmm. They've been great. But one guy showed up and says, I'm the best player on the court. I'm the best player in this series. And he wears number 0 for the Indiana Pacers. And that's even with Pascal Siakam coming up with a 30-point game last night. He had 39 a couple of games ago. He's playing out of his skull. Everybody in Indiana wearing a Pacers or a Yes Sirs shirt is feeling it right now, and they are following this guy's lead. 32 points, 15 assists, 12 rebounds in a game Indiana had to have to avoid going back to New York all square again. Going back to square one in Madison Square Garden with a best-of-3 series for the right to go to the NBA Finals. With all of that pressure on Haliburton and the Pacers, Haliburton says, I will come up with a triple-double almost by halftime. I will come up with a triple-double overall. And the most important stat of all, 0 turnovers. 0.0. Full Blutarski on that category. First player in NBA playoff history with 30 or more points, 15 or more assists, 10 or more rebounds, and no turnovers. Well, since they started recording turnovers in the 1977-78 season. I don't know why they weren't recording turnovers before then. I guess what? Just dribble it off your leg all you want. We have no idea.
Back then,
I guess so. There was a lot happening. I know.
You know.
Exactly.
Yeah.
One person with an abacus sitting there.
Trying to, and Kuzi was just, had the balls going all over the place.
Here's an even more impressive stat. He scored 32 points. The Pacers scored 33 points on 14 of 22 shooting, 63.6% on the 15 assists. On the passes that Haliburton sent to his teammates. 22 passes, and he had 33 points coming off of Haliburton passes last night. And that's all she wrote. And what the Pacers do is they just run you out of the building. In this day and age where it's just like pound the rock, pick and roll, find the open three-point shooter, shot. They're tough to stop. They are relentless. Relentless. And you got to give it up to Rick Carlisle. He plays a deep bench. He doesn't tighten the rotation. He trusts everybody out there. That's not a shot at Tom Thibodeau. It's just what the Pacers do. And what the Pacers have done is take a 3-1 lead, and Haliburton leading the way. And give it up to Carlisle. Mark Cuban on a podcast for New York Magazine. Don't really usually mention these, but Cuban was on this podcast just dropped just yesterday, telling the story again that he told, I think, on Pat Bev's podcast a couple of years ago, that they were trying to move up to beat the Kings to Tyrese Haliburton in his draft. Okay. He was just a mere college kid, roommates with Brock Purdy. Boy, those guys killing it these days. Mm-hmm. And the Mavericks saw something in Haliburton. According to Cuban, they were considering trading a pretty damn good player to move up for the right to take Haliburton, and couldn't do it. And the player they were considering trading to move up, named Jalen Brunson. According to Cuban, couldn't pull off the trade. Interesting. But one guy did pull off a trade for Tyrese Haliburton after he joined the Indiana Pacers as their head coach. It was the coach at the time of the Mavericks, Rick Carlisle, who has had his eye on Tyrese Haliburton and has believed in Tyrese Haliburton since the jump, and has every reason to say this after going up 3-1 with that perfect, damn near perfect game in the biggest situation by Haliburton.
He was really throwing the ball ahead tonight, too, which was really important for us. And to not have any turnovers in any of those situations, too, is pretty remarkable. But this has become his thing. And, there will be a new statistical category perhaps named after him somewhere down the line. Him and Chris Paul, these guys, there aren't a lot of guys. I know Stockton didn't turn it over much back when he played. There are others. LeBron James didn't turn it over very much. You can go right down the line, some of the all-time greats. And so I know he takes great pride in it, and that's a motivating factor.
And he's going to have to be better than SGA, because that appears to be what's next. Because unless Oklahoma City suffers a 3-game losing streak after winning 68 games in the regular season, and unless the Pacers suffer a 3-game losing streak after doing what they did in the first 4 games of this series, which is essentially run the Knicks out of buildings or run them down after the Knicks have big leads in their own building, these two are going to meet in the NBA Finals. And that's something the Knicks fans are going to have to deal with, because they're going to have to dig deep now, everybody. This team that everybody felt destined, and they're celebrating the dispatching of the defending champion Celtics, saying we're going to take, at least this time around, we're going to take on the Pacers, and OG's not going to have a hammy, and Brunson's not going to have an ankle. We're going to be healthy. Only won once. That's it. They're not the better team. They're not the deeper team. They're not the better coach team. And that's a fact. It's tough to handle right now. It ain't easy. It's not easy. Because, Knicks are supposed to beat these Pacers because, they had a better record than the Pacers. Last year it was because they were injured. That's why they didn't beat the Pacers. Now they were healthy, had home court advantage, dropped in their laps because the Celtics blew 2 20-point leads at home and then lost their all-world player to an Achilles injury. And the Cavs, and their 64 wins, they got hurt. They got eliminated. That's the reason why the Pacers made it to the Knicks in the first place. Well, guess what? This is a better team. Yeah. And unless the Knicks find some reserve here, some kind of way to slow down the Pacers and defend Haliburton in a way that causes him one turnover. Just give me one. Force one. Keep Siakam off the boards. Have an answer for him. Have an answer for Miles Turner. Have an answer for Nesmith and Nembhard. TJ McConnell coming off the bench. The killer last night. The killer three that put the nail in the coffin from Obi Toppin, for crying out loud, in front of Chalamet. God, country, and Chalamet again.
I think that was the most depressing and disappointing part.
Toppin.
For a Knicks fan to have Obi Toppin.
Yeah. That's the guy that put the nail in the coffin after Turner fouls out. So they've got to win Game 5, force Game 6, put the pressure on them again, because you don't want to go back to the Garden in Game 7, then win Game 7. Good luck with the way that these Pacers are playing and being coached. This is what the leader of the Knicks had to say afterwards.
We've been a team that has kind of found a way to do the impossible when it always seemed impossible. We just keep fighting. So it's going to be a testament to our whole playoff run. Now we have to be in one of the biggest fights of our lives and of our season, and it starts with next game. So just taking it game by game. Don't look ahead. Just worry about the first quarter of the next game, and we'll deal with the rest later.
Yeah, I mean, that's Karl-Anthony Towns sitting next to the leader in Brunson.
Does Cat need Tom Cruise or something?
Because it's impossible.
Yeah.
Well, as you know, that was my review of Mission Impossible. As you sit around and you talk about the mission and how you need to complete the mission, and then everyone around says, "Well, that's impossible." And then they cut to the next scene, where you, as the fan of the movie, already know what the mission is and how impossible it is. And now we cut to Madison Square Garden on Thursday night.
Rich, if I can offer just a slight bit of pushback, you said that earlier that you felt this was a must-win for the Pacers going back to the Garden, but the Knicks are 3-5 in the playoffs at home, so home isn't even a sanctuary for them. It's
the other thing too is, what is their record in front of Chalamet? Should he just stay home?
No, it's not. Don't blame
Game
it
5?
on.
Chalamet's been at every game, so it's like,
why would you blame it on Chalamet?
Okay.
And you can blame it on Ben Stiller too and Spike.
Yeah, maybe those guys should stay home.
No, I don't think it's on them.
You could blame it on.
It's not on the celebrities.
You know what they need? They need
more
more of the fans all wearing the same shirt, because those teams are going to the finals.
I guess so.
I can't believe you just hill-turned Chalamet, though. You could blame it on the sunshine, the moonlight, the good times, but don't blame it on the Chalamet.
Pacers didn't mind doing it in front of Triple H, John Cougar Mellencamp, and Pat.
Now we're talking Indiana's finest. Although Triple H is from New Hampshire.
Last night.
They were at the American Express table.
I mean, come on now.
Pat was getting fired up. Called them sons of bees.
Yeah, I know that.
Let's go. That was great.
I saw that. Nobody talks to Chalamet that way and gets away with it.
I mean, he called them all out, too. Spike.
But Pat probably knows Chalamet from College Game Day, right? Didn't he pick games?
He did.
Chalamet.
At any rate, the bottom line is the Knicks are up the creek right now, and the question is what do they do with this paddle? What do they do? And, Tyrese Haliburton, to his credit, got it done. End of story. Who are the ones who call him overrated? I need to know names. I want answers. And I can, it's tough for me to handle the truth, which is he's the best player in this series. Best player on the court, best player in the series. And Siakam might be 1B. Catch the Rich Eisen Show live weekdays from 12 to 3 p.m. Eastern on Roku Sports Channel in the U.S.